In the wake of a damning New York State Attorney General's report that Governor Andrew Cuomo violated state and federal laws by sexually harassing multiple women and creating a toxic workplace, Cuomo apologized to the women, attempted to brush it off as just a misunderstanding, and made it clear he has no intention of resigning. One of his accusers, Charlotte Bennett, didn't buy his excuses or his apology. She told CBS News, quote, "Accepting responsibility means stepping down. So I don't believe him. I don't want an apology. It's not necessary. It's fake, and his propaganda video was not only uncomfortable and inappropriate, but downright weird and unnecessary. It is not protecting New York. He's not speaking for New Yorkers. He's not trying to do anything other than maintain the power that he has currently," end quote. There are bipartisan calls for impeachment, and President Biden, who formerly praised Cuomo as well as Speaker Pelosi, both of them called on him to resign. Meanwhile, the Albany County DA announced that he's launched a criminal probe, and he's calling on Cuomo's accusers to cooperate in building a case. But will any of this actually lead to Cuomo resigning or being driven from office? Well, it's hard to say. He's a powerful Democrat, and as they say about the uber-rich, Democrats are different from you and me. They're held to an entirely different standard. Democrats can riot, loot, assault police, and burn down courthouses and still be turned loose, while a Republican who wanders through the wrong open door and takes a selfie gets branded a domestic terrorist and insurrectionist and gets rushed off to prison without benefit of trial. Hillary Clinton can collude with the Russians, put government data on an insecure private email server, and skate away, while Donald Trump is hounded for years over a patently false claim of Russian collusion. Telling the wrong joke can end a Republican's career. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam wore blackface and offered to imitate Michael Jackson's moonwalk, and he's still in office. It seems that for scandal-ridden Democrats, if you stick around long enough, you'll become a hero again. So while it looks bad for Cuomo, if he simply refuses to leave, I wouldn't bet the farm on anyone in New York having the spine or principles to make him. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if New York prosecutors convict an elderly Trump Organization executive for not listing his parking space as taxable income before they actually prosecute Andrew Cuomo for multiple state and federal sexual harassment violations. Speaking of people named Cuomo who never get held accountable, Chris Cuomo is still on CNN, despite many stories that seriously call into question his professionalism and impartiality in covering his brother. Will this latest incident be the last straw? Probably not. That might require CNN to show too much journalistic integrity. Can't have them doing that. And in other New York politician news, New York City Mayor Bill De Blasio announced that starting next month, proof of COVID vaccination is going to be required to engage in a range of indoor activities in the city, including dining, fitness, entertainment, and others. Few things surprise me as much as New Yorkers' tolerance for the absolute buffoon that is Mayor de Blasio. I guess they really are tough after all. Maybe not so big on the brains, though. So having forcibly shut down businesses for months to stop the spread of COVID, he's now going to allow the businesses to open, but ban large numbers of potential customers from entering them to stop the spread of COVID among unvaccinated people, even if those people have had COVID and therefore have antibodies. Nothing says modern American Democrat like trying to protect people from themselves. Full enforcement will begin on September the 13th, marking perhaps the first time since taking office that de Blasio has actually enforced anything. Since this makes no exceptions for people who have had COVID and have natural immunity, or maybe who object on religious grounds or have been advised against vaccinations by their doctors, or who just have personal objections, it's being described by critics as madness and tyranny. But New Yorkers ought to be used to that by now. Incidentally, how are they going to prove that they've been vaccinated? They're required to show either their paper CDC vaccine record card or the New York City or state's vaccine record app. Now, that means not only forcing people to make their private medical records public to strangers, but also forcing them to show a government-issued ID. And since blacks and Hispanics have declined vaccination in higher percentages than whites and will be disproportionately affected by the policy, this means it's straight up racism under the Democrats' own definition. When heavily blue New York inevitably begins eating itself politically for systemic racism, I'll be here to offer the solution, which is less government. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked this video and that you will comment if you enjoyed it, and be sure to consider subscribing to the channel below and clicking the notification bell. And please join me for a live Q&A tomorrow where you can insult and berate me to your heart's content. Not that you would, but you can. Click the link in the description to get a notification when we're live. And if you want more of my news, analysis, and commentary, of course, just simply sign up for my newsletter at MikeHuckabee.com. Comes to your email inbox twice a day, and I'm not kidding, it is absolutely free. Well, that's it for this edition of The Breakdown. I'm Mike Huckabee.